All right, here we go. Welcome to the school board meeting of the Lake Mills Area School District. The mission statement for the Lake Mills Area School District is preparing all of today's students for tomorrow's opportunity. Has the meeting been properly posted, Dr. Olson?
Yes, it was posted on the LMASD website and at the Lake Mills Post Office and submitted to the Lake Mills Leader.
All right, well then we will call this meeting to order. Please, all those who are able, please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. I will request a roll call for attendance.
Brianna Beslick. Here. Ken Eimers.
Here.
Andrea Graham.
Here.
Kirk Lund.
Here.
Amy Litcher.
Here. Moving on, are there any revisions to the agenda that any board members would like to propose?
I move the board accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, this can be voice vote, and all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. We will move on to board reports, and Mr. Eimers.
Sure, thank you. Well, each year, as you know, we have a student that joins our school board. And this year is Michaela Kennedy, and Michaela is going to take the oath that all board members take when they join the board. So.
I, Michaela Kennedy, who has been duly appointed to the Board of Education of the Lake Mills Area School District, but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof, swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Wisconsin, and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Terrific. Now we sign here.
All right, with the signing of that paper, we welcome you and
Welcome aboard.
here we go. All right. We will move on to the board report section, and I guess, all right, then there are no board reports? Oh, our student. Well, there you go. Welcome.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you.
My name is Michaela Kennedy. I am a senior in the Lake Mills High School this year. I am pretty active in the high school. I am an NHS. I'm actually a co-vice president with one of my fellow classmates this year. We're working on the blood drive right now for October, which is super exciting. I'm also in Interact and Optimist Club. We do a lot of fun things around the community in those. In my free time, I manage football. This is my 4th year managing. I have managed since I was a freshman. I also dance, so 3 times a week I go to dance, and I love dance. It's just a great way to communicate without words, and a great art and different type of language. I love that. I am very big on just like education and grades, so I spend a lot of time doing homework as well. I really do enjoy homework, though. I like going home and doing homework. But I really love this opportunity because I do need to work on like my communication skills and things like that. I'm taking a communication class this year. I want to be a NICU nurse. I'm hoping to go to college for nursing. I'm hoping to go to UW-Madison. I just applied there. So yeah, that would really help me for my future career.
All right. Thank you. All right, now we are moving on, and we'll move on to administrative reports. Dr.
Yeah.
Olson.
We've got a couple of exciting reports tonight, and as you know, changing schools can be kind of a scary thing, even when that change is right within your own school district. So we got a couple of groups here tonight that really have emphasized the culture of our schools and making everybody feel welcome. So we're going to start out with our middle school WEB group, where WEB stands for Where Everybody Belongs. And we have two of the three advisors here tonight, Alexa Halverson and Tracy Voigt. And I will let you start us off, or whichever one of our students is starting us off with that. I say it takes a lot of courage when you're in middle school to present to a board.
Can you go back a slide? A couple slides, please. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, you're at the end, Dave.
Perfect. Hi, my name is Hannah Kulo. I'm in 8th grade. I do basketball, volleyball, and I do track, and I do horseback riding out of school. Next slide, please.
Hi, I'm Sydney Grundle. I'm in 8th grade and I do basketball and swim outside of the school.
Hi, I'm Annabelle Hockett. I play volleyball in school. What is WEB? WEB stands for Where Everyone Belongs. In WEB, we make new students and 5th graders feel welcomed in the school. Studies have shown that students in a WEB leader feel more welcomed and safe in the school. WEB can also work as an anti-bullying group, and studies have also shown that if students have a positive WEB leader, it can make them have a positive impact on school and the people around them. Next slide, please. Oh. Why WEB? WEB is a great school program that helps 8th graders develop leadership skills. In WEB, we learn many different strategies and skills to work with others, including teamwork, communication, and problem solving. Skills that will help us be successful in all aspects of life. We get to help 5th graders and new students feel welcomed when coming into the middle school for the first time.
Why do we need training days? Training days are important to WEB leaders because we have to be prepared to teach 5 to 10 kids fun games all day. We learn different community building games. There are like 5 to 15 games that we learn that help build a community. We also create bonds during training days. These bonds can show during games like the straw challenge, where you work together to hold straws by using your pointer fingers. We need training days also to help develop leadership skills. Some ways we help develop leadership skills is through an activity where students lead other students to help make shapes with their bodies. Some of these pictures are us in the training days. We got to meet a new dog named Bernie, and those are some of the activities.
What did we do during 5th grade orientation? On August 31st, we got to the middle school at 7 a.m. We set up our classrooms and prepared the gym for the 5th graders' arrival. At 7:45, all the 5th graders arrived at the middle school. The WEB leaders made a tunnel and welcomed all the students into the middle school. We started off the day by playing a bunch of fun games in the gym together. After spending some time in the gym, we got into our groups. Some of the groups started with a tour, and we gave our group silly costumes to disguise the kids. And the other groups went to their classrooms to play fun games to learn about each other. After all the groups got a tour, we learned about each other and their WEB leaders. We watched a slideshow with all the silly pictures taken that day. This is some of the themes that were during the orientation tour. Next. We had many different themes.
On the first day of school, we helped people all in different grades to open up lockers. We also noticed that some of the new students were alone, so we made them feel welcome, such as at lunch.
We help students find their classes, especially 6th grade through 8th grade that were new students. We were also very encouraging to help kids want to be at school and help. And then we also helped kids get through the first day and if they had any questions throughout the hallways.
We welcomed everyone with enthusiasm as people entered the building, and we gave them our own tips and tricks that we learned throughout middle school to get to their classes.
Okay, we're done now.
Do we have any questions for the various web leaders? Is this the whole web crew, or are there other people who couldn't attend?
This is not the whole web group. Some people couldn't attend. This is just part of it. There's 18 web leaders.
And then how do you apply to be a part of the leadership
You
team?
apply through like an application with a couple questions about why you want to be a web leader.
It's more of like an essay type thing. It's not very hard. It's actually pretty easy.
Does the web group do anything throughout the year at certain points, or is it just primarily focused at the beginning of the year?
Yes, we do things like towards the end and beginning.
Post-it notes on their lockers. And if we have any new kids that come throughout the year, that's the one thing we want to work on, is because when they start the year, it's different than when they show up partway through the year. So that's the next thing we're working on, so.
Are there any others?
Just a kind of, it's just a terrific program, I have to say. I wish I had had it when I was in school, but it's wonderful. We appreciate all the things you folks do.
All right, thank you. Oh, absolutely.
What was your favorite game that you taught to the 5th graders?
Oh, my favorite game was probably challenge, I guess, is when we were making different shapes with the kids on the floor in the gym.
My favorite activity was a challenge called One Left, where you didn't want to pick up the last object.
I think mine was also One Left because it was just a fun game and it was kind of competitive, but not too competitive.
Well, thanks for showing up to welcome the 5th graders. Those sound like fun games.
Thank you so much.
One side, I'll go on the other.
All right, now on the other end of the school district, we've got a presentation by the Link crew, so led by their advisor, Lindy Oates.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lindy Oates. I am one of 4 coordinators for Link Crew at the high school. It is me, Mr. Ben Keel, Ms. Audrey Vincenzi, and Mr. Stephen Walsh. The 4 of us are working together to make sure that our Link Crew continues to flourish and prosper. That was a picture of our good-looking group in our bright Barbie pink t-shirts. So some background information on Link Crew. It is organized by the Boomerang Project, so it's a nationally recognized transition, not orientation program. It really focuses on not telling kids this is what you need to know to flourish here. It's really focused on here's the tools we can give you to help you flourish here. So it really focuses on easing that transition and making sure that students both feel welcome and that We don't just focusing on making them feel welcome the first day, but as we continue. So it establishes our community through building those relationships between juniors and seniors with our freshmen and our new students. So research shows, they have a very elaborate research part of their pamphlet that you can look through that talks about how Link Crews have directly across the nation, even some evidence from schools here in Wisconsin, has increased graduation rates, reduced freshman truancy, decreased bullying and suspensions, increased how safe students feel in school. So we see all of these direct results to identifying some of these key students and asking them on the first day and throughout the school year, can you go above and beyond to make sure our community is what you want it to be? So Link Crew goes back way back, well, it feels way back for me, all the way to 2009. It's one of 3,905 schools across the nation that participates in this program, and I can tell you after having sat in the training that these are all schools that are all in, but even amongst all these schools that are all in, when we talk about the support system we have in Lake Mills, I still got like side eyes from across the room. They were like, really? Your admin does that? You have all of this support? So even with all of that, I think our Link Crew is pretty stellar. So every year, we've done it every year. There hasn't been one we missed. When COVID came and went, we didn't take that as a chance to take a rest. In fact, we doubled down. We learned an entirely new curriculum for May Play Day. We learned an entirely new curriculum to go online. And then I think this group had their Link leaders virtually their freshman year. And even with all of that, they still are the Link leaders who will be standing here with us today. And like I said, our 4 staff coordinators. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the Link Crew objectives you saw in your board packet as they went through, these are the ones that are identified by the Boomerang Project. And I really think that they sum up and embody exactly what we're going for, that we're trying to get all of our students into a variety of different situations, show them the importance of different types of getting involved. I think amongst just the 4 kids we have here, there's a plethora of extracurriculars, outside of school jobs, different classes, different interests, different potential future majors, different potential future paths. So we really want to make sure that all of that is showcased with our Link leaders. Next slide, please. Monthly breakdown. Again, in your board packet, you can see all the things we do every month, but August is the month where we really get started with each group. So over the month of August, our Link leaders sacrifice 2 days of their summer to come in and hear me talk like this for about 8 hours at length about the importance of Link Crew, about the importance of getting involved and how impactful each one of them can be. We talk about lollipop moments because you never know when you give somebody a piece of candy or a lollipop that might change the entire course of their day. And that's really what Link Crew tries to do every day, every block, every moment. So as we go through, we have those really 2 elaborate training days, and then on top of that, we have a prep day where we get everything ready, which included me setting my entire room up like a conveyor belt, and then all of us going through. I think Eric spent about 30 minutes counting 80 sheets of paper, and then would set a stack aside and then grab it and count 80 more sheets of paper. So there is a real dedication to wanting to make sure every single thing goes right with our orientation. So we always talk about our orientation being like the Super Bowl of our team. First day, we have to get here at 7. We quick eat some donuts. We shove them in the face and get running. We're setting up the gym. We're setting up the music. All of this to make sure that we can be ready to rock and roll for our orientation, which includes, again, another section of me talking, which tends to be a trend here I'm identifying. And we get our students kind of warmed up, ready to go so that they can go do some small group work with our Link leaders. And that small group work is where you guys really get to step in and shine and build those connections. It includes a tour of the building, includes a lot of activities that kind of build up to opening up and being able to kind of make some connections with the people around you and your Link leaders between the juniors and the seniors and the freshmen and the new students. Just everybody gets involved. So then as the year goes on, we have a Link with Lunch every month where our Link leaders meet with their Link crew and talk about things that come up. So on some of the slides you'll see, like for August, we have a specific intention that we want them to share with them. It's okay, August is coming up. This means end of first quarter. This means progress reports. This means a lot of units and classes coming to ends, which means summatives. What does summative mean in the grade book? It's kind of this heavy curriculum that when I talk about it, eyes tend to glaze over, but when one of them says, no, seriously, you gotta take that final, you gotta take that project for serious, it hits a little bit differently is what I would say. So sometimes we have a decided topic for what they're going to talk about at their lunch. But other months, they know what's best for them. They have been students at Lake Mills High School. They know what it's like to be a student at Lake Mills High School in the 2020s. So they really know what best to communicate. During the end of the year, during our finals period in January and May/June, depending how it falls, we lead student study activities. In the winter, it's cocoa and cram because we give them hot chocolate. In the spring, summer, it's lessons and lemonade because we bribe them with food, of course. And our link leaders set up tables and they say, "Hi, I'm your freshman class you're scared of. Let's work through this." So they kind of sit down and they have study guides and they offer some authentic perspective about the finals and can help the students prepare for those in whatever way is best for them, kind of coaching them through no, you got this, you are so prepared, you got this, or saying, "Hey, I have the study guide here, why don't we talk about this a little more?" Which is really great to see that kind of not bookend the year, but end the year off and the first semester off as well. We then go into next slide. Once it gets to be about February or March, we start getting teacher nominations for who they believe should be a good link leader. The nomination process at the high school includes us sending out a sheet and we say, "Hey teachers, who do you think would be a great link leader?" Think everybody, think all students, think everybody who could potentially be a leader in some way, shape, or form. And then we also open it up for self-nominations because those kids that maybe don't get the attention in class but want to step up are oftentimes some of our most courageous leaders. And it's those perspectives that we really value that maybe aren't the ones that are involved in every single thing. And then you guys apply. It is very much like an essay. I loved that description, sorry. So it's a lot of questions, kind of why do you want to be a link leader? What would you do in these scenarios? Why is this important to you? And then we sit, we read them, and then we have to make a decision about making sure that we have a link crew that represents a cross-section of our school in multiple ways, shapes, or forms. And I got to tell you, that is the most heart-wrenching meeting I think I've ever sit in every year when we have 4 kids that don't make it because we need to have a certain number. So this year we had 32 link leaders, which is a gorgeous, beautiful, big group. But we don't always get so lucky to have such a big number. And as you know, Lake Mills has so many wonderful kids. It's a little bit of a trying process. So then we get to the end of the year, we start the training, we start introducing our new link leaders. We have a new old meeting where the old link leaders, some of whom are graduating, celebrate the new link leaders, and we celebrate them as they graduate. Next slide. I think I got ahead of myself there. So a lot of that goes up. We have our May Development Day, which is just kind of a quick introduction at the end of the school year to the responsibilities of Link Crew for our new leaders. And then we get to start preparing all summer long for our orientation. Next slide, please. We welcomed 115 new kids to the building on September 5th. It was a really beautiful thing to see them all coming in. Sorry, I got out of order on my slides. So we started with a welcoming phone call. Every student gets a phone call to their guardian's phone number is put in Skyward and a personal invitation. You guys make all those calls and it's a really wonderful thing to see. And here we do the assembly, we do our small group work, we have the tour. We end with a pledge to graduate on time for both our link leaders, our seniors, our juniors, and our freshmen. We talk about the importance of not wasting a single day at high school and how some days you kind of let slide, but other days you really need to focus in on. And then they go eat lunch with their leaders for the first time in the Commons. Next slide, please. Thank you. These are some of the things that people thought it would be important for our freshmen to know. In your board packet, you can go through and see some of the tips and advice that they had for them. One year we had our whole link crew was so dedicated to the idea of freshmen knowing it was okay to wear pajamas. Not everybody comes in designer clothes. You can wear your pajamas. And that was the hill they wanted. So we put that on there, and I saw a lot of really cute pajamas that year. So as you see, it covers a whole base of things: social, emotional, teacher-focused, grade-focused, extracurriculars, really just telling the freshmen things that they wish that they had known. Next slide, please. So could some of my link leaders here introduce themselves and tell us why you wanted to be a link leader or something important that you think Link Crew does for the school?
Hi, I'm Amaya Untz. The reason why I wanted to be a link leader is basically I'm only in one other club, so I thought it would be a really good idea to just kind of throw myself out there and meet some new people. And it felt really good having people that I could talk to who were older than me when I was a freshman, and I wanted to be that person for someone else. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carson Peterson, and I decided to be a link leader because I'm in 2 different sports and a couple different clubs. So I kind of just wanted to let the freshmen know that the clubs are out there and for them to join them.
Hi, I'm Livian Taylor, and I wanted to be a link leader because when I was a freshman, I was really nervous about navigating the school and getting to the right classes, and I wanted to be kind of an outlet for those freshmen who didn't know where to go. So.
Hi, I'm Eric Mosier, and I joined the Link Crew because I just wanted to help the freshmen out and make high school seem less daunting because it was pretty daunting for me, and I just want to help them out.
I love these kids. So here on the slide, you'll see some pictures from our first day. This is our gauntlet, very much like the web leaders pointed out. We have our students line up and they rah, 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 while pop music plays in the background, welcoming the freshmen on the first day. Next slide. This is a picture of them in their small group work. And then as well as something I meant to highlight but did not, we have our locker decorations. Every single new student, freshman or upperclassman gets a customized locker decoration for their group. So you see a lot of really interesting personalities come out in these locker decks, and it really decorates the hallway in a way that is beautiful and hopeful and awesome. Next slide. And then, of course, our tour, we had a Cowboys and Barbies group. It was very interesting, and then more of that small group work. Is there anything else you guys want to add about Link Crew, or have we pretty well covered it? What questions do you guys have for us?
I had a quick comment when you had submitted the slides and the slide that has what every freshman should know. And I was reading through that list and I thought everything on there is when we do the senior exit portfolios is what I asked the seniors, if you could go back in time, what would you tell your freshman self? And this is everything that they would tell their freshman self.
When we work on that, we put the ideas on the board, and then it's like a knockout, drag-out fight for what it means. It's like, what exact wording do you want? We got in a really strong battle about how to convey the idea that you should use the trust and responsibility you have as a student in good ways. And it was this whole thing. It was like 30 minutes of trying to argue this wording. It was impressive.
Well, I personally want to thank the Link Crew because I had a freshman starting this year, and he very much benefited from all the advice and the welcoming. And as a parent, I've seen the pluses of that for sure. All right, any other questions?
Just thank you for dedicating your time, and to the staff too. Thank you for days of your summer and things too, preparing and guiding all the students. So thank you.
Yeah, getting to spend time with them it's never a sacrifice for that time. It's an amazing group. Next summer, y'all should come see a little bit of it.
All right. Anything else? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh.
Right. All right. And moving on, just because of the way our board meetings fell, I didn't want to wait until our October board meeting to publicly bring to everyone's attention that Wisconsin School Board Week is October 1st through the 7th. We got some special surprises in store. So in 2 weeks, we'll be honoring you. And I just can't say enough how grateful I am to have such wonderful board members such as you that care so much about the students in this district and the staff and the families in this district. That's not like that across the entire state, and I know I just appreciate all of you so much for all the work and dedication that you put in, and you can really just tell with looking at our schools, especially at the start of this school year. So you really are making a difference. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And lastly, I just got a quick recap. We did have another CAT team meeting, the Community Advisory Team meeting last Wednesday. We're expecting to have one, maybe two more meetings to start to wrap up this process. It's been a lot of work on that committee's as well. It's just a lot of time dedicated to meeting and trying to figure out all our long-term facility needs. So this last meeting involved a prioritization process where we just started looking at the needs that came up in our facility needs assessment and starting to narrow down some of those needs. Megan and I worked on that a good portion of the day today, and we'll be presenting that report out at the next meeting. And also we'll be taking a deep dive into the school district finances as well.
All right. Any questions? All right. We will next move on to Mr. Cale Vogel for his administrative report.
Well, it's tough to follow up those two groups that went. They did a pretty good job. So I'm just going to talk about our school year. I think overall our school year has been, the start of it has been fantastic. These are just some of the topics I'm going to talk about briefly, and if you have any questions at the end, feel free to ask away, okay? First of all, like, you know, I think the Link crews did a good job with the middle school and then the high school, just with the culture of the buildings. And the culture of the buildings really starts with the staff and students. I think you got a good example of the students with the culture and how they incorporate themselves in the building culture. And I think the staff, I just wanted to give a special thanks to our entire staff, particularly at the high school. Not only our teachers, our admin assistants, bus drivers, custodians, food service, paraeducators, our school resource officer, and our dean of students and athletic director. It's a great place to work. I think that one of the best things that all these people have in common, I can guarantee that they have students' interest at heart. And I think that's very important. So again, just a special shout out to our staff. And it leads to things like this, awards in athletics overall as a school, and music, just a couple of the awards that have been awarded to the building. 4 years, 5 years. I think the music one is probably, I don't know what it's at. I think it's 7 or 8 officially, but it's probably longer than that. But again, it goes to the staff and the students, and our community here is makes it a fantastic place. Just a couple of things with our Link crew. I'm not going to talk much about that. I think you heard from Ms. Oates and some of our Link crew members. Just a special thanks for what they do to make our freshmen and our new students, right, new students who happens to be a sophomore, a junior, senior, whoever, feel welcomed into our school. I know it's something that I would have liked when I was a freshman going into a big scary place like Watertown High School back in the day, but yeah, it's a cool program, and the advisors do a tremendous job along with the students. One thing that we do meet with each of the classes at the beginning of the year, and me and Mr. Annan, and we talk about kind of the expectations of the building. It's good, we start with the freshmen because the freshmen are new, so we, certain things we talk about, student handbook, attendance, safety, daily procedures, bullying, harassment, cell phone policies, trust, having a trusted adult in the building, other student services provided. I talk a majority of that. Mr. Annan and Officer Johnson, then our student services team, our school psychologists, and our 2 school counselors. And it's kind of an I told you so, but it really lays out the expectations. And so we do that like the first week of school, first 4 or 5 days. So one change we're going to do next year, we're probably going to do the freshmen and sophomores together. And then do the juniors and seniors on the other days, so we kind of condense it into 2 days rather than 4, so they get some more time in their advisory at the beginning of the year. activities going on. Just a few of the activities already started here in the first couple weeks of school. Student council, for sure, getting our freshman officers in place, along with the officers in the other classes that were elected last spring. Getting ready for homecoming to start. Gaming club has had meetings, FFA, of course, NHS, the musical has host auditions. The Larry at the School newspaper, yearbook, the Triumph Music Honor Society, and the Drama Club are just a couple examples of the activities already like rolling at the beginning of this year. So it's a extremely busy place within the first couple weeks of school. We did have a building technology meeting. I just, one of our, try to get more certifications or offer more certifications for students that are under Act 59 that are recognized as IRC, Industrial Recognized Certifications. And we are going to add Microsoft certifications through our Mr. Keel's Essential Computer Essentials and Advanced Computer Applications classes. So we did purchase those vouchers and that curriculum this year, and hopefully to get the majority of those kids certified by the end of the year. I think it's roughly going to be, maybe 110 test vouchers we bought. So Mr. Keel is going to work on that in those two classes for that certification for those students this year. The mill is up and going, multiple pickups already. And again, just a reminder, the mill is run through our Interact Club. It's our school district food pantry. And it's open for orders district-wide, all the way from 4K through 12th grade. Confidential, filling out the forms, quick and easy. I don't see a lot of that. We try to be as confidential as possible with the pickups and the ordering, but that is utilized a ton, and that's started as well. We've already started homecoming preparation. Homecoming meetings have started last week. The theme, Disney Channel movies, which I knew none of them, but that's coming up, and it's a great week for not only our kids, our staff, but the school community, and that's October 2nd through the 7th. Same activities, tradition is tradition, so Iron Man on Wednesday night, Powder Puff, with numerous sports activities throughout the week, the bonfire Wednesday night as well, and then with the dance on Saturday night. But the kids are excited, so that be prepared for that. So also another thing is, as long as we do have a safe driving presentation for our sophomores, juniors, and seniors next Tuesday during advisory, about 45 minutes to talk. Jefferson County is coming in to talk about driving safe, and it's kind of an emphasis, I know, in majority of the counties. So we're going to bring them in, and they're going to talk to our students on Tuesday. So a lot going on, but again, the credit to the start of our school year and the culture of our buildings definitely goes to our staff and students.
Are there any questions? All right. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Moving on to Mr. Annan.
All right. Fall sports updates. Same thing, kind of echoing what Mr. Vogel said. It's our coaches. I'm here just trying to help, but they do an amazing job with their athletes each and every day to make their experience very successful. Here's some of our participation numbers this year. You can see in our 5 sports that our club, mountain biking, is going as well. I'll kind of go through each sport. Varsity soccer, right now, they've been in a lot of close matches, have had some injury bugs with some kids as well, but are doing a great job out there and competing hard. Cross country has had some nice successes this year. They have now had a third first place they just had in Belleville this last weekend. And then for the first time in a while, we had a boy finisher, Max Kressner, who got first place. And from my understanding, that was the first time in about 10 years. So that was pretty cool. Football just won on Friday. So they are now 3-2, 2-1 in conference. And then The homecoming game's the 6th, and then this week they play in New Glarus. Varsity tennis is 6-5 overall, 3-1 in conference, and they are already getting towards the end of the season, which is crazy to me. But with the light and being outside, it goes pretty fast. But they have had a really nice season as well. Varsity volleyball updated. It's 12-5, and then now they are 3-1 in conference. Tomorrow night they are on their second round already. They play Columbus at home. Are in a battle right now. They're in second place with Lakeside just ahead of them with a rematch on October 3rd. Mountain biking was in 4th place in the last race, and they have a race coming up this weekend. Or second place, they're 4th overall in their standings. Mr. Vogel mentioned this, but for the 4th year in a row, we have had the Award of Excellence from the WIA, and that goes a lot to what our coaches are doing. They're doing the proper things to have CPR certified, do their rules tests. They're showing good sportsmanship on and off the field. Doing those things, our athletes are also doing great things. So it's a great recognition of the athletic program in our school district that so many people are doing the right things to make it successful. Some PD that we had for our coaching staff this summer, we took a trip to UW-Madison, and they had this biosymposium that was put on, which is very cool, and it all based around leadership, and we got to listen to 4 different speakers. Bud Selig was one of them, former commissioner of the MLB, told a lot of really cool stories, just how the Brewers started and the decisions he had to make as he went through as commissioner. We even had a coach ask him about the steroid era and stuff, so it was kind of interesting to hear his thoughts on it. Coach Greg Gard talked as well, Marissa Morales, the basketball coach, and then Brittany Dillon for the volleyball staff, and all had crazy good things to talk about leadership. So it was a great day. We had about 20 coaches go, as we see a picture at the top, and outside at Camp Randall, so it was very cool. This kind of went into our Student Leadership Athletic Advisory Council. At there, they talked about championship behavior with the volleyball staff, and we thought it was very cool. So we kind of adapted it. And the one thing I like is the bottom part. The pursuit of a championship is not just about the final score, but about the collective effort and the character displayed along the way. We're striving for championships. We want our kids to have a great experience. But as my next slide, you'll see some of the things we're kind of emphasizing here. Team support, all right, physical preparation beforehand, academics, being on time, respect of our facilities, and kind of laying some of those things out. And we feel if we do those things as a group, good things happen. All right, we're striving for that championship, but as a group, we want to do all those things, push each other to be the best we can as student athletes, and help our community in general. And then that's what we mean by championship behavior. Just some pictures to end it. It's been, like I said, an awesome fall to start, and especially for my first go-around as athletic director, to see the enthusiasm our kids bring each and every day, the leaders they are in the school, and just their excitement and passion to get out there and compete is very cool to see, and just kind of help out on my end so they can have a great experience at Lake Mills Athletics.
Are there any questions?
I'll just say thanks, Justin, for the seamless transition that you made into this very big role in the district. You haven't really skipped a beat, so nice job so far.
Thank you.
It was pretty interesting to see that mountain biking is now a sport. Where, just a little more on that. Where does that actually take place?
So it's a club for us. So they compete. And they just had some competition, so I just wanted to highlight it. But they do a lot of it at Camrock Park in Cambridge. So we have 13 members, and there actually are a few members that are in different schools that come and join up for this club. So they compete. There's a big one, actually. It's near where I live, out by Waterloo. There's a trek trail that they'll have like the state competition, which I only know because I drove by it last year, and there was thousands of cars in this field and talking to them. So very new to it on my end. I'm just learning about it, but it was very cool to listen to some of the kids excited about a different kind of avenue.
And it starts in 6th grade too, correct?
Yes, there's middle school competing as well.
I was just going to say, I think it was great when you talked about the championship behavior because, you know, very few people go off to be pro athletes, right? So the other pieces are things that they take with them their entire life. So I think that's great that you're incorporating both of that.
Anything else? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, turning it over to Mr. Olson for the middle school.
Well, hi, everyone. Thanks for having me today and all of us today. Just going to echo what was shared. It's been an awesome start to the year. Certainly busy, lots of really exciting things. Our web leaders, like they said, did an amazing job helping our fifth graders enter our building and making sure they kind of knew the routines and customs and all the important things that they need to know as they move through being a middle schooler. Quick overview, we're going to talk about the 7 habits of highly effective people. That seems out of place, but I'll get there in a minute. Building a legacy, and then our learning continues at Lake Mills Middle School. So the reason I have 7 habits on there is we started the year somewhat uniquely with our staff. So often at the beginning of a year, not that that's not a time for professional development, but a lot of times that professional development is focused on like how we're going to instruct kids or what we're going to do with kids. And this year we started with our staff getting trained in the 7 habits of highly effective people. And that was really about us as a staff and us as adults in the building, ultimately learning about how we can be proactive, how we can put first things first, begin with the end in mind, all of those habits which will roll into how we instruct and work with our students. And it was a really great way for us to have a shared set of language and expectations of one another. And so we spent the first day and a half of our school year with all of our middle school staff getting that training, and I feel like it's really paying dividends already. That we were able to talk about how do we do these things, how do we make sure we're in that win-win mentality with each other. So it was a really good cultural piece for our staff to start off the school year that way. That also led into, well, that didn't lead into, but this is another, our Building a Legacy document. I wanted to put this out there because this is work that our staff has done all last year, and then we really brought it all together and started with our staff around what are our collective commitments to kids. So you have our district mission and vision, and then our core values in the blue box there. But then down below, we really focused this year, or last year, we spent a lot of work building together what we believe we need to do to make sure that we're providing the best education to our students. And so we put together these collective commitments, and this really ties to the work that our administrative staff did over the summer going to a PLC conference. This is sort of that collective beliefs about how do we make sure the things that we do in class are going to be what leads to the most success for our students. And so we spent a big part of our time at the beginning of the year was also, as a staff, was about talking about those collective commitments and how we're going to have to. I will tell you that those are aspirational a bit. Like we don't do single one of those every single day, but how do we grow into making sure that we are the best that we can be at doing those things that are listed in those bullet points. So that was another part from the staff lens of things that we did to make sure that we're ready and growing throughout the year so that we can serve our students as best as possible. And then the kids came, and things got busy and exciting. We have our students are back in our seats. We're excited. They have, as was kind of mentioned, we have our sports are kicked off as well. Our students now all have their Chromebooks. They got those in the first couple of days, so they're learning through both in person, but with that technology as a tool as well. We have our iReady assessment assessing is going on right now, and we do that 3 times throughout the year. We'll take that data that we get from that iReady assessment, and we'll use that to to learn a little bit more about what our students need as far as areas for growth, and also where they're really excelling and how we can help push them along further. It's been a really exciting start to the school year. We've had a lot of our students are. It's fun to see them back. Our open house, I feel like, was one of the, I don't know, it was from the time our doors opened, we actually extended it an hour, and from the time the doors opened until the time that our doors closed that night, people were constantly coming in. It was awesome to see everybody excited. And at this point, we're kind of in the groove. Our kids know their routines, and we're getting into now, over the next couple of weeks, we're meeting with our families. So we've actually met with our 6th grade families tonight. We had a family night. We're doing this in every grade level, but particularly with the 6th grade families, it really is a kind of a big transition. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like just the next year of middle school, but that transition from the elementary model to the middle school model happens for us in 6th grade. And so we spent time talking to families about how do we communicate with you? How do you have access to tools that might help you when your kid comes home and either tells you, what'd you do today? I don't know, nothing. The tools that they can use to help maybe facilitate that conversation a little better. But then also if their students are home stuck, how do they get unstuck, or how can they help them get unstuck? So we actually had, I think, about 20 people online and 20 to 30 people in the building. That's where I came from right before this, and it was a really good presentation. We got some positive feedback right out of the gate. So now I feel like our kids we're set, and we'll do that with our 7th grade later this week, and then our 5th and 8th grade on Monday of next week as well. So I think we're moving along, ready to keep this year going. It's been a great start. Any questions that I can answer?
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
You see who the elementary principal is, right?
I was going to say that.
Okay, we can roll on here. So these are just a few of the things that are highlighting from our first few weeks of school, as you can see there. Yep, keep going to the next one. All right, so this was our Ready, Set, Go, which was from 11 to 7. So it gives everyone a personal time for students with their families to come in and meet the teacher, bring their supplies, and just help ease any fears, and for parents to be able to talk one-on-one with teachers and share a little bit of information to help start us off on the right foot to the school year. And then we add a little fun in there too. So there is our new learning coordinator and dean of students, Mr. Smith, handing out popsicles to the students, and we kind of had music going and just a fun celebration type of atmosphere as our families came in. Our PTO also had a sale going on where they were making LCAT clothing to order, and so it was just a nice celebration to bring students in and get that one-on-one time with teachers. So we were off to a good start with our Ready, Set, Go. And the best part that we've been working on is building community, and that comes really natural as my colleagues were talking about the excellence of our staff. Building community really comes natural to them. And what that looks like at the elementary school is often with using our responsive classroom with our morning meeting and our closing circle. So you'll see those things in different classrooms here going on where they're sharing, they're finding things that they have in common, they're doing activities, having a little bit of fun together, and at the end of the day, they're having a little bit of time, again, to share and talk about the day and what went well and what they're working on moving forward. So it just really helps kids to build that classroom connection. Also, especially at elementary and all of the levels, but especially elementary, we really have to teach, our kindergarten and 4K comes, half the students come the first day of school and the other half come the second day of school, to give a little bit smaller, manageable class sizes. You can go to the next slide, please, to help out. So you'll see in that first slide, we're really lucky to have Mr. Winter. He loves recess, and he has all kinds of fun recess things he's planning this year, from dance party Fridays to treasure hunt Thursdays. But he sets clear expectations, and there's students that are listening and learning, and then we provide those reminders as needed. We also have our kindergarten teachers, Mrs. Sell down here, just explaining how things work at school, how we act in the hallway, walking on the right side. You think things are really basic? Well, that's just all things that our young students need to learn, and even our older students need to be reminded of. The cafeteria too is a big deal for our young students. So it's really just setting, these are our school expectations. Last Friday we had an all-school assembly where we talked as a whole school community on how we show how we take care of each other and our school and ourselves, and then we're celebrating that on the screens in the school. We have just a fun thing called Caught on Camera, where we see kids that are following and even exceeding those expectations being celebrated so they can see their friends, up on the screens throughout the building. So just setting those expectations and celebrating them. And a big part of our staff learning this year has been our new math curriculum, Bridges. And going in, we did know that it was going to be a lot of work. We had worked closely with with Aaron and with other school districts and had great training this summer. And now that it's here, it definitely is a lot of work, but everyone is seeing the value in it and that it's worth it. I'd say all of our teachers are going home every night and reading through everything, a second time, making sure they're clear on their teaching point and making sure they have the materials ready. One thing that everyone's noticing right away is just how students are engaged in the learning. There's active learning going on. They are problem solving and being celebrated. I feel like kids are really going to understand how math works and not just memorize something. So it's exciting to see, but it definitely is, especially this first year, it is a lot of work. Staff are working really hard, and they're also just, even though we keep saying just try it, it's good stuff. They're such perfectionists that they keep, wanting to make sure everything is perfect. But so math has been off to a great start, both the number corner and then the Bridges math. And here's a few pictures of where you can see kids sharing. And then here's a few fun pictures just at the end. If you want to go one more, just a few fun pictures and our wonderful team there. Any questions for me? And we set the foundation for everyone else to build on, right? So we got the most important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to community input. Has there any been, okay, hearing no signups for the comments. We will move on to the consent agenda. This month's consent agenda includes the approval of the following: August 21st regular meeting minutes, August 24th special meeting minutes, September 11th finance, personnel, and facility committee proceedings, August treasurer's report and vouchers and invoices, and the personnel report. And is there any item that a board member would like to separate out for further discussion?
I actually wanted to pull out the personnel report to talk about that.
All right.
Can we do that now?
Yeah, we can do that now.
So I just saw on there that there's a couple more resignations from special education paraeducators and regular paraeducators. And so I just thought we should have maybe a discussion as a board about, and hear from Tanya too, about the reason behind those, that turnover. I know I heard in the summer from a couple staff members just concerned about the turnover in that area, particularly at the middle school. So I just wanted to get a little more clarification on that. And then I know we've talked about the pay scale as well. I really would like some type of proposal to the board about some type of proposal to increase wages for our hourly staff. I just feel like, I know a couple people who've applied to positions and the pay is just too low. And so I think that's a contributing factor as to why we're having the turnover. So I want us to kind of get a plan in place. And
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think we ask a lot, of our paraeducators, our custodians, our food service, and I don't think the pay is always, where it needs to be. Obviously, we attempt with the budget that we have to do that, but you're right, it's not easy work by any means. So.
I did read some of the resignation emails, and I don't know, that there were none, at least at the para level, that was like, I'm quitting because of the pay, and I'm quitting because of disgust or any negative issues. It's more family concerns or moving away, or, those are the type of issues that were cited in these resignation emails and letters.
I would agree with you. Some of our long-term para educators have been here for a long time. Some of the resignations you're seeing, they have not been with us for a very long time. I would say, a year and a half, under 2 years for the majority of them.
yeah, there was one on here that I think the physical ability just didn't match with the student need. And I think that just says a lot that our paraeducators are working often with our most difficult students. A lot of them are trained in restraint or seclusion, things like that. They're good, I just feel like they have a lot of responsibility, and yes, they can leave their work at work and they're not planning for instruction and things like that, but it is a lot of stress and people do take that stress home. And when I think about you can, work at a restaurant and get paid $18, $19 an hour, and we're having our, people who work with our children starting at, $15, $16 an hour. I just feel like there should be a bump. So I guess whatever we can do in the budget to help make that happen, because I know we've talked about it for a while. I know. And I think the community just needs to know too that the pay rates are very low compared to what a lot of other jobs around the community are. And so I just don't think that we're drawing in a lot of people maybe that have kids in the district, and which is great, but I don't feel like people should sacrifice their pay just because they're a mom. And it's, like we need to pay people what they're worth. And a lot of women take these positions. And so just, I want fair pay for fair work. And so that's just something
I guess the question would be, does the rest of the board agree with a proposal for, and to be discussed at a future facility personnel finance meeting?
That was going to be my recommendation, if we could put it on a future agenda item for the next or upcoming.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I'm definitely supportive of that.
All right.
Thank you for discussing.
All right, then.
I don't think there was anything within the consent agenda that we needed to discuss, so if there isn't anything else, I'll move the board approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. And anything else to discuss within the consent agenda? All right, hearing none, I will ask for a roll call vote to approve the motion.
Brianna Beslick.
Aye.
Ken Imers.
Aye.
Andrea Graham.
Aye.
Kirk Lund.
Aye.
Amy Litcher.
Aye. All right, action items. First is district safety plan, and per Act 143, school districts are required to submit a copy of their safety plan by January 1st of each year, and this is a approval well before that, so.
And many thanks to Mr. Vogel, who is always very proactive and has the safety plan ready to go before the start of the school year, since we are implementing it on day one. So, and as we noted, this does stay confidential just due to the nature of the plans and the need to ensure our students' safety.
All right.
I'll move the board approve the Lake Mills Area School District safety plan as presented.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? The only thing that I saw within it was that the people that are currently not with the district are still listed in this version.
Okay.
Sure. And it was created in August, so if someone had left it.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah.
happened, so.
Okay, so we'll revise those, make those technical corrections.
All right, any other discussion? Okay, then I will ask for a roll call vote to approve the motion.
Ken Imers.
Aye.
Andrea Graham.
Aye.
Kirk Lund.
Aye.
Brianna Beslick.
Aye.
Amy Litcher.
Aye. Okay, the LEAP agreement with the Johnson Creek School District, and the LEAP.
I see this being the last year of this. Our program has expanded, and so to further collaborate with Johnson Creek would mean adding staff. We don't intend to do that, especially with the limited space that we have in the classroom that we're using for that. So the program has been highly successful for the kids that need it, but we did educate one student from Johnson Creek last year who was a junior, so we needed to continue his educational program to ensure that he graduates on time. So, and I have been in communication with the superintendent from Johnson Creek, who is well aware of that too, that we'll be discontinuing this agreement then afterwards with them.
Is there a motion?
I'll move the board approve the LEAP agreement with the Johnson Creek School District as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will ask for a roll call vote.
Andrea Graham.
Aye.
Kirk Lund.
Aye.
Brianna Beslick.
Aye.
Ken Imers.
Aye.
Amy Litcher.
Aye. All right, for the last action item, gifts. And again, we thank the community so very much for their continuing support financially and emotionally and presently, I don't know, for their continued gift to the school district. So
I'll move the board thank all of our generous donors for their continued support of our students and our programs within the Lake Mills Area School District. The first gift was a full set of Goosebump books to the elementary school library from Miss Megan Salas, a $500 donation to the high school music department, and the following donations were to the school district's food pantry, The Mill. The first one was a set of school supplies with the approximate value of $250 from the Real Hope Church, and the other one to The Mill is a $2,000 donation from Miss Tina Shanky.
I'll second the motion.
okay, assuming no discussion. All right, I will ask for a roll call vote.
Kirk Lund.
Aye.
Brianna Beslick.
Aye.
Ken Imers.
Aye.
Andrea Graham.
Aye.
Amy Litcher.
Aye. All right, upcoming board agenda items.
All right, so we'll already be approving the Start College Now requests and early graduation requests. We do need to schedule a policy committee meeting, so I did go through with our Neola representative the next bunch of policy updates. We are going to have another student presentation. Actually, it is going to be students from the LEAP program, so we'll be excited to hear from them and what this program has meant to them. We'll be looking upcoming the budget and then going into a special meeting the following Monday to approve the levy. Be continuing to update you on the CAT team facilities planning, and then we did get our Jewel litigation settlement, and the board has to take action on that at the October board meeting in order to accept that. That money will be used to purchase additional vape detectors in the high school and in the middle school once we receive those monies.
And then we also have the annual meeting budget hearing next Monday at 6 p.m. at the high school auditorium.
Thank you. All right. If there's none others, then I will, is there anything else? Okay, then I will wait for you, Brianna.
I move the board move into executive session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.85, parentheses 1, parentheses C, parentheses E, and parentheses F, considering employment, promotion, compensation of performance, evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically, parentheses A, approval of executive session minutes, B, district administrative review, and C, administrative contracts.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. And hearing any questions, then I will ask roll call vote for going into executive session.
Brianna Beslick.
Aye.
Ken Imers.
Aye.
Andrea Graham.
Aye.
Kirk Lund.
Aye.
Amy Litcher.
Aye. Okay, we are now in executive session.
Okay, and one more picture.